Hello and welcome to this presentation of Creating Virtual Tours with RealBiz360 View Vista Suite, presented by Jennifer Thompson-Kirsting of My Florida Regional MLS.
So let's first take a look at the suite of products that you get with the View Vista RealBiz360 product. Now remember, this is an add-on product. This is not part of your subscription to your My Florida Regional MLS services. But as a member of My Florida Regional, you do have the opportunity to utilize this service at a discounted cost. So you're going to have the opportunity to upload your videos to YouTube, so you can do the iView videos, which is a great way to promote your listings through the internet channels that are available. You also have the social media viral marketing tools through the association with Announce My Listing. So as soon as we create that tour, publish it, we'll be able to check a box and send this out through the Announce My Listing distribution channel. And we'll talk more about that in just a little bit. Social media and viral marketing is the way of the future, and that's what both of these opportunities are going to give you through the iView videos with YouTube, as well as the viral marketing and Announce My Listing. And we'll get into that in just a little bit. But let's talk about what do you receive if you decide to subscribe to this service. Now, there's two packages. There's the basic package and the gold package, the gold upgrade. And essentially, the basic package is entry level. It's going to give you an opportunity to create slideshows. You're not going to be able to do those panoramic, moving 360-degree panoramics. You'll only be able to do the slideshows. You'll notice that the slideshows is a yes here. It's a yes in the gold, but the gold is going to give you the opportunity to create those panoramic tours. Now, I'm just going to kind of scan my eyes down the screen here, and you'll notice that a lot of things you're going to get additionally with the upgrade, including some flyers, being able to create postcards, being able to look at statistics and reports about the viewing history of your virtual tours. And that's real important. That's something that you can share with your sellers to enhance your position, that maybe folks are looking at the property and maybe it needs something. Maybe it needs some enhancements. Maybe it needs a price change, something. You're also able to download your tours to CDs so that you can maybe leave those CDs in an open house or leave copies of those CDs on the kitchen counter for folks to pick up. There's also the link distribution through Realtor.com, and we'll talk more about that as we get towards the end of actually creating a tour, because we are going to create a tour here this morning. The referral marketing through Announce My Listing, again, we'll talk about that. And then the opportunity to get full customer support with the gold upgrade. You'll notice that customer support is via email only in the basic package, but it's full support with the gold package. And remember, you also always have tech support available through our help desk here at My Florida Regional MLS. Now, take a look at the single agent pricing down there. If you were to pick up the basic package, it's going to cost you $2 per tour. Now, that's billed on a monthly basis, so if you did 10 tours in that month, 10 slideshow tours, it's going to cost you $20. Now, the gold upgrade package is $5 per month for unlimited tours. So if you're going to do any more than 2 tours, you really need to think about the upgrade and choosing that $5 per month option, even if you only did 1 tour a month. And I'm going to give you some opportunities to think about here as to how you can utilize these virtual tours, not just in your listings, but maybe let's think outside the box a little bit. I know that some folks here on this webinar have been in my classes before. I've taken a look at the attendee list, and you guys know that I like to teach you to think outside the box a little bit. So let's utilize that. So $5 a month is going to give you unlimited virtual tours. Now, if you were not a member of My Florida Regional MLS, that service would cost you $29.95 a month. So if you were a realtor in let's say Michigan or the Panhandle or Fort Lauderdale or something else, then this product would cost you $30 a month, just very similarly priced to a lot of the other virtual tour products that are out there on the market. Now, there is a one-time upgrade fee of $25. So the first time you join the basic package, there is no fee. It's $2 a tour, but when you make that step and decide to upgrade yourself, it is going to cost you $25. And then they will bill your credit card $5 per month. Let me make clear that there are no contracts. There is no, you're tied in for a year or 6 months. It's on a month-to-month basis. So if you get in and 6 months from now you decide, hey, I'm not really happy with this, or maybe you decide to get out of the business or you're moving, you're not tied in for another 6 months. So it is billed on a monthly basis, and that's $5 a month. Now, something else that I want to bring to your attention is that My Florida Regional and this View Vista Suite product produced by RealBiz360 is offering you, or RealBiz360 is going to offer you a referral fee, a referral opportunity to say, hey, you've joined, you bring 8 of your friends in, guess what, you get 8 months free. So for every agent that you refer the RealBiz360 product to and they join the gold package, you will get 1 month free of service. So I've got, let's see, 36 people here with me, so all of you folks that are on the call here have an opportunity. If you know 8, 10, 12 other agents, you could get a whole month of service for free if you were to refer them and they were to go ahead and register for and subscribe to the gold service. So opportunity here for you to get some stuff for free. I love free, and free is always a good thing. Okay, I'm going to close out of that. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to take you here. This screen should look very familiar to you. We're right here at the ML Exchange homepage, and on the right-hand side underneath that Smart Links section, we're going to go here and we're going to click on that RealBiz360 Virtual Tour hyperlink. This is going to take me to the login screen where I'm going to go ahead and need to log into RealBiz. And you'll notice that I'm already logged in. Because I was logged in before, it asks me to maintain, and it says, okay, it's you, Jennifer, so you should already have a login, what we call single sign-on. Now, the first time you go in and set up, you're going to be in the basic mode. So when you're in basic, you'll have the opportunity to click here to upgrade. It's right here in the middle of your screen on the bottom section. That'll give you the opportunity to go ahead and upgrade, enter your credit card information and so forth so that you can upgrade. But let's talk about the first thing we really have to talk about, which is setting up yourself and your profile. So I'm going to go up here to the tab. We're going to work with these tabs along the top today. Everything is very easily laid out. We're looking at tab driven, so we can make it easy transition from tab to tab. So let's go over here, and I'm going to go and start with my profile. So this is me. There's my name, and you can plug in as much or as little information as you want, making sure that anything that is asterisked with a required that you go ahead and enter that information. And then, of course, your billing information is over here. Once we get done with that, we're going to go to settings and preferences. Now, this is a one-time setup, and I would encourage you to go through this as completely as possible. Okay, because what I want you to be able to do here is this will brand all of your virtual tours with your photo, with your company logo, with your information. And by the way, I don't like my picture, so don't laugh, please. But you can go ahead and add your photo here, and it's a simple browse. You're going to click the browse button. And I have a brand new computer here, so I really don't have any photos here. But you would just browse your pictures, find the photograph that you wanted to use as your photo, and I'll be a penguin today. Adding your company logo, if you have a company logo, again, browsing your hard drive, finding your company logo, and utilizing that. Now, when you click this Choose from a List, I want you to take a look here. You may have a company logo already here. Now, I'm going to probably, I'm just going to scan through this list right now. Assist-to-Sell is there. Looks like it's not generic enough for some of you to be able, well, here's a Century 21 logo. There's a basic Century 21 logo if you're with C21, the ERA logo, and so forth. So if the company with which you're affiliated, if their logo is already here, then please feel free to go ahead and utilize that. Otherwise, you can upload your own by browsing your hard drive. Now, this is adding your company banner. Now, you may not have a banner logo available to you. You may need to check with your marketing department or maybe your office manager or a broker, because this is going to be a banner that's going to be stretched out across the top. So just putting in a regular logo is not going to work, because that's going to stretch it, and then you're going to have real funky looking banner going on. So you want a banner will be in a different format. It will be stretched out, so to speak. So just be sure you don't upload a standard logo into the banner section. Selecting a banner type, okay, so if you can say, use your company banner if you've chosen to add it. You can use your broker logo with a text banner, so we can make some changes in here. Or I can use my company logo with text. Okay, so you can make some decisions here as to how you want to have your page layout, so to speak, and that's going to be the page in which these virtual tours are going to run when they are clicked on by either your sellers or by buyers. You can also select your color scheme. So if you like blue or green, Purple or red's your favorite color. Maybe you want to brand it with your Keller Williams red, and I'm going to stick with this Keller Williams today, so I'm going to go with the red, and red happens to be my favorite color, so we'll stick with that. And then I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to click on Save My Tour Branding. I want to make sure I save that. If you wanted to preview it, you could preview it here by clicking the preview button. That would allow you to preview the branding that you've set up for yourself. Kind of take a look at it and make any necessary changes that you wanted to make. Again, I apologize for this brand new computer with all these little messages popping up from time to time. Okay, but that looks kind of good. I've got there's my photo. I'm penguins. I like happy feet, so okay, looks good to me. All right, now we get into tour posting. Now these are going to be default choices that you're going to make when you're posting your tours. So you can say, okay, yes, I want to publish. My default is going to publish to My Florida Regional MLS. Make sure you pick the correct MLS, because what will happen here is that when you're done with posting your tour and during the process, you're going to be able to check a box that says, yes, please post my tour to my MLS. And what it will do is it will reverse and take the hyperlink that's created and post that tour back into ML Exchange for you, so you don't have to worry about copying and pasting or making a mistake. Now, take a look. I've got some default options checked here. I've checked Google and Yahoo and Trulia and Oodle and Zillow and Home Seekers. And I've chosen not to select Realtor.com. Now, I'm going to make this, I'm pointing this out specifically because if you choose to post to Realtor.com and you are not a Showcase member, you are going to be charged the $19.95 that Realtor.com charges for virtual tours. So just because you put it here doesn't mean you're not going to be charged for it if you're not a Showcase member. So if you are a Showcase member, set your default that way so that it automatically goes out there for you. If you're not a Showcase member, I would recommend leaving it unchecked, and then that way only in the scenarios where you wanted to send that off to Realtor.com. Maybe it's that high dollar, that multi-million-dollar listing that you received that you wanted to go ahead and post a tour, and we'll spend the 20 bucks on. Okay? I'm going to save my default tour posting, and I can change these on a tour-by-tour basis, so this is not set in stone. This is just my basics. Okay? Now, photographer branding. If you have a professional photographer that's taking your photos for you, you can choose to acknowledge those photographers by uploading their logos, inserting their company names and websites. If you have a webmaster, if you'd like to put the URL of your published tours to your webmaster, you can put your webmaster's email here. So maybe you have your own website and you want to email those tours directly to the webmaster, you can insert their email here. And if you would like yourself to receive an email whenever you publish a tour, you can check here. Again, these things can be turned on and off at the individual tour level. These are just my defaults. I like this box. Back of flyer, disclaimer text. Everybody likes disclaimers, especially in this industry. You know, please note that the landscaping may have changed due to the recent storms. You know, whatever you want to say in that particular disclaimer box. You know, maybe the house has been painted, maybe something's gone on that or you just want to put a standard disclaimer in there. Maybe your broker uses something that you want to utilize on all of your flyers. You know, all dimensions are estimated, please verify, and all your good disclaimers that you can utilize. So we can put that in there so it'll be generated on each and every flyer. Okay, so we're pretty much done with my profile settings, with the exception of going through some other things here. So we're going to go over here to referral. Now this is the number of free months that I'm going to obtain after upgrades. So if I had referred anybody to the RealBiz360 Referral Rewards Program, you're going to want to give that person your ID number. Your ID number will be your 9-digit NRDS number, so that when they subscribe, they're going to reference you, and that way you will obtain your free months of service. So this is a good one to keep an eye on here. Your email contacts. In your email contacts, here's where you can create some groups, and you could create some contacts. So if I'm going to say here, I've got a group I created called My Hot Contacts. Maybe I've got the top, my favorite, let me do a new one. I'll do a new one. I'll call it My Favorite, My Favorite Agents. You know, maybe I have a handful of friends that I want to send my virtual tours to as soon as I post them. So I've created a group called My Favorite Agents now. Now, if I want to add somebody to that group, all I have to do is select them from my emails over here and add them to the group. Okay? So now My Favorite Agents has 2 members as well. Okay? Now, if I didn't have any email members over here, I would have to go over into my import emails and either add or remove contacts manually or import from a file. Okay? Adding and removing contacts, pretty simple, pretty easy. Oh, see, I got to type it in correctly. And see, it doesn't match. I did that on purpose. See how I did lowercase and uppercase here, and I did uppercase and lowercase here? They have to match, guys. Okay? So that's how you can manually add folks into your email list. Or you can import from a file. If you decide you want to change your password, you can do that. I would not do that because the system will automatically log you in when you go in here from your from ML Exchange. Okay? All right, so I've got my settings all set up. Now, we are ready to create a tour. Okay, so let's move on. Let's go create a tour. Okay, so I just went to the tab at the top. Again, this is all tab-driven, ladies and gentlemen, so it makes it very easy to go through the system without getting lost. Okay? Now, I'm in the Create Tour tab, and we have 7 tabs down here. So we're going to start with the Edit Listing Data. Listing Headline, but what I want to draw your attention to is right here on the right-hand side. Notice it says Real Estate Listings and Personal Non-Real Estate Listings. What does that mean? Real estate listings are going to be MLS listings, virtual tours, and personal non-real estate listings is going to give you the opportunity to create a virtual tour for anything that you want. Think about maybe creating a virtual tour for the community, of the schools, of the beaches, of the lakes, of the recreation areas. Maybe you're listing property in a specific community and you want to showcase that community. You can do that right here. So this is where I'm saying, think outside the box. That $5 a month, could be eaten up. You could do a great job of setting up virtual tours for your communities and posting those to your websites. All right, so listing headline, just listed. Look here where it says Get MLS Data. I'm going to stay on the real estate listings for just a second. It says Get MLS Data. If I were going to import listing information and listing photos from the MLS, I could do that here by simply entering in my MLS ID number. Okay, so if I had my MLS ID number from over here in ML Exchange, and let me go find one of my active listings. All right, so my listing number is going to be C700 something, and I'm just going to copy and paste it to make it easy on myself so I don't have to worry about it. All right, I'm going to go back to my tour, and notice I'm just going to put my tour, I'm going to put that MLS ID number in here, and I'm going to just click the Get MLS Data. This is slick, guys, because you don't have to rekey all the information. Look, it imported all that information, the bedrooms, the bathrooms. Now, it didn't import the property type, okay, because there's different information. Maybe this is a 2-story contemporary. Here's my square footage. Maybe it did not put my lot size in. Maybe it's only a year old, but it says year built 1860, so we're going to go back and we're going to say it was built in 2010. So you can change any of this information. You can add information. Okay, and look up at the top, I can change that headline. The headline by default is going to be the address of the property. I'm going to change it. Newly listed gem on the beach. Okay? And then I'm going to save the listing information. It was that simple. Now it says your MLS property photos have automatically been imported. So if you had 10 photos in ML Exchange or 12 photos in ML Exchange, it's going to import those photos right into RealBiz360. However, I'm going to caution you and I'm going to recommend that you not use those photos. The reason is when you upload those photos into ML Exchange, they become compressed. Okay, so through the upload process, the software compresses the photos, and then when you bring them into RealBiz360 and then perhaps you try to expand or zoom into them, I know you all have seen this before in pictures where it becomes what's called pixelated and it gets grainy looking and it's fuzzy looking. So you probably don't want to utilize the photos that are in ML Exchange. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete these. Say, okay, I want to delete those photos. I don't want them. I have to select the image, Jennifer, and then I have to delete it. All right, I'm going to go back and get more images, and I'm going to show you how to get additional images, and then I can delete that one because it has to have one. So that's where I was messing up. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add images from my hard drive. Okay, we're going to add images, and I'm going to go down in here, and we're going to pick a couple of pictures. All right, I'm going to pick these two to add. Okay, so there's my two pictures that I just added, and I'm going to click Upload Images. Okay, so now those two are part of my image selections over here, and now I will be able to delete that MFR logo photo that was there because that one does not need to be there anymore. I'll reorganize them, put them in that order. See what I did? I just clicked and dragged the photos to reorder them. So if you want them in a different order, you can do that just by clicking and dragging. Back to Get Images. See, those two images that I just uploaded, all that would allow me to do would be to create that slideshow image, okay, where it's just flipping pictures, one picture to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. And this is a question I get quite frequently. Well, how do you create a panoramic? How do you get that moving image photo, that 360 degree? And how hard is it? I don't know how to do that. I'm not an expert. I'm not a videographer. Don't have to be, guys. All you have to do is take your pictures. I'm going to give you some suggestions and some things that you might want to write down. When you're going to create your panoramics, okay, and I'm going to just go get some photos that I took as a panoramic, you're going to want to take 12 to 16 pictures for a 360-degree image. That's the standard, 12 to 16 pictures for a 360-degree panoramic that you can create. Now, I would recommend that you utilize a tripod in order to create those photos so that everything's kind of staying level. You're not up in the air and then down on the ground and crooked and so forth. But the great thing is watch this. When I go to stitch these images together, and all I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag and select all those images. And I'm going to now click the button that says Stitch Images. Now, how many do I have? 12 pictures, right? Okay, so I'm going to stitch the images. It's stitching the panoramas, creating this panoramic view. I'm not an expert, guys. All I did is I went outside and I started clicking, taking some pictures. Don't profess to be a professional photographer, but if you'll notice, I'm just previewing this. We now have a panoramic. And notice it, it took everything and it made it all work. It put everything together. I stood out in the road and took 12 pictures in a circle. Okay? If you decide that you don't like this, you can restitch it. If you want to reorder some of the pictures, maybe something was out of order, you can reorder and stitch those as well. I'm going to go ahead and click and save this one because I like it. It works. Okay. If you wanted to add any other images, if you wanted to do another panorama, you could do that. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to upload that image. So think about doing multiple panoramas, maybe doing the outside of the house, and then you go in and maybe you do the entryway or the great room or the pool area or the water view, or thinking about the homes, and then maybe thinking about doing, again, the communities and clubhouses and schools and recreation areas and in beautiful downtown Punta Gorda, maybe taking some images of the beautiful downtown area and stitching those together and utilizing those on your other websites. Okay. Okay, so here we go. Now I'm in the managing of the images. So now that's my exterior front. Again, that's a front image, and that's also a front image. So these are my two standard pictures that I uploaded. See, those are just standard photos. And then this is my panoramic. Notice when I put my cursor over it, it stretches it out and kind of shows me that that's a panoramic. Notice here, I'm going to click on that exterior front. It says the name of it. I'm just going to change the name and call it front view, front of house. And the description, so I can add text to it. Outside view of, front view, custom home in quiet neighborhood. Okay, so I can do that. I can change and I can tell where I'm going to put them. Maybe I need some in the main floor, the second floor, third floor, the base. Well, we don't have basements here in Florida, so we'll ignore that. Okay. I can also, you want to make sure you include in the Zoom gallery. Just always do that. That's just a good thing to do. I'm going to save my changes. And that button that I just clicked, the little save button, is going to allow me to download that picture right to my hard drive. So if I wanted to take this panoramic and download it to my hard drive for some reason, I could do that as well. I can preview my tour here. I'm going to notice how it went from slideshow from one picture to the next. And then it's going to turn into that panoramic. So you can do a combination of both. You can do the slideshow and then move right on into a panoramic if you wanted to. Okay, so that's my preview. I'm going to close that out. And we're going to continue on with making some other changes to this and setting this thing up a little bit more in depth for this particular tour. Adding and editing audio. This is pretty cool. Take a look. It says for my entire tour, I can choose from an audio library. And there's a library of music here that you can pick from. So you can pick and choose what you like. Or if I had my own MP3 file, I could browse to and upload that from my hard drive. So if you've got something you can that you wanted to utilize that's not in the list here, you could do that. Now, if I don't do this as, I could also add voiceover. How do you do voiceover? Well, you'd have to use the Microsoft or whatever computer software that you have that allows you to record your voice, and you can use this voice pad and browse to and upload a audio image as a voiceover. So if you've got a very nice recording voice, or you've got a friend or whatever, and you want to maybe jot down some text and you want to include that as a voiceover in your tour, you can certainly do that. Again, I apologize, I don't have one of those that I could upload to show you, but that is a very simple process. Again, you would use the software that's included with your computer to be able to record some voiceovers, and usually it's going to be found right in your control panel and recording options. You can record some audio to utilize as a voiceover. Okay, so I'm on Add and Edit Audio. I think I'm done with that. I'm going to move right along to my editing of the slideshow. And this is going to allow me to maybe take this photo here, and I don't want to include it in the slideshow. I've decided I don't want it. See, it took it away. Turn it on, turn it off. So even if I got to this point, I could take that one out of here if I wanted to now, and I'll take that one out as well. Just move that panoramic into the first slot. Oh, come on. There we go. Now, notice here still images display delay for all slides. That's in the number of seconds. So if you wanted to leave them on for 5 or 6 seconds, you could change that. The default, I believe, is 5. For each slide, you can do the fade or random, and it kind of shows you what it would look like. So if you want to make your choices here. Now, on the panorama properties, notice I had to click on the panorama in order to get into these options down here. So the speed, I want to go slow, and I'm going to go left to right. Customizing the tour. Okay. Now remember, we set up all of our banners, all our color schemes, and all of this looks somewhat familiar. It should from what we did earlier. But this is where you can go ahead and change it. Maybe on this particular one, I want to change it to purple, or maybe I want to use the dark purple. Maybe I'll go with the sand color. Okay. And then again, here's my tour extras. Do I want to print a flyer? It says you must create and save a flyer before you can select the options. Okay, we haven't done that yet, but that's okay, we can get there. And I can add some other links if I wanted to. So if I wanted to link back out to my corporate website or to the school's website or something of that nature, I could go ahead and do that. I could also choose to turn on or off school info, mortgage calculators, an area map, and send to a friend. The availability for somebody to send it to a friend. Okay? And then the last step we're going to do here before we get into doing anything else is to publish the tour. So when I go to Publish Tour, you're going to have 3 options. One is a branded MLS tour, which you could use, a branded MLS tour you could use on your website. You can't use a branded tour in the MLS. The relaxed MLS tour is what you're going to want to use for publishing to the MLS. So please be advised that if you've already posted the tour to an MLS, you'll have to post it again after you click the Generate Tour button. It's okay. I haven't done that yet. This is the difference. These are the 2 you're going to want to use. You guys don't have to worry about the strict MLS tour. That's not necessary for our MLS. Some other MLSs in the country that also use this product have those options, but really what you need to concentrate on is, do I want it branded with my information, or is this going in the MLS? If it's going in the MLS, then you need to use the Relax. If you're creating a tour that you're going to utilize on your website, promotional materials, whatever for yourself, then you can use the branded. Okay, so now I'm going to click on that Generate Tour. Now here's my links, and I'm going to have my options. Okay, so it says please confirm the posting destinations. Click on the tour links to preview your tour. Here's my full featured tour, and here's my IDX compliant tour. Now if it were me, I would probably right-click each one of these and save them to my hard drive. Save it to, or copy and paste it into a Word document or something of that nature so I could quickly and easily get back to those tour links at a later time. Right-click, save target as, I'll put it right on my desktop. Simple as that. Okay, that's my full featured or branded tour. Okay, notice it's got my Keller Williams Realty up here and so forth. And then here's the other one, which is my Relax tour. Notice there's no branding. It just says newly listed gem on the beach, right? Okay. So that's the difference between the branding and the non-branding. Now here's where you probably want to go ahead and leave this default checked as Announce My Listing, because what this is going to do is this is going to automatically drive traffic to your listing while being introduced to your client's social networking. What in the heck does that mean, Jennifer? Well, what that means is once we post this tour, you're going to get an email to the email address that you've inserted into that box, that will be your default email address, and you'll be able to take that tour link, go through and Announce My Listing, and internally or through your social networking, promote your new listing Maybe you want to take the listing link and send it off to the seller, and the seller can then send it off to their sphere of influence. We'll show you that. Once I get through this, I'll show you the email that comes up. Posting your tour to Realtor.com. Okay, I know I had a couple of questions as we were going along regarding Showcase members, and is Gold the same thing as Showcase, and what is this all about? Well, here's what you need to know. What you need to know is that if you are a Showcase member with Realtor.com and you check this box, it will automatically post your tour to Realtor.com for you. And as a Showcase member with Realtor.com, you already have that upgrade or enhanced ability to have the virtual tours on your listings. If you're not a Realtor.com Showcase member, because I've chosen not to be, I don't pay the extra money, I don't have it, I don't have enough listings, whatever the situation is, if I don't have the Showcase membership option with Realtor.com, I'm going to agree to these terms of service that's going to say, hey, this is a non-Showcase listing and I'm a non-Showcase member, but I want this uploaded to Realtor.com for me, and I'm going to pay that $19.95. So if your company subscribes to and all of your, everybody in your office is automatically showcased, then yeah, go ahead and click the checkbox here. I'm a Showcase member. Absolutely. Make sure it gets that link on there for you automatically. It's saving you the trouble of going back in and uploading it later on. But again, if you're not a Showcase member, you just need to know it's going to cost you that $19.95 if you check that box. So I'm going to make that very clear to all of you, because I don't want anybody coming back and saying, hey, Jennifer, pay this $19.95 for me, because I'm not going to pay it for you. Okay? I don't want to pay it. I can't pay it. All right. So I hope that clarifies the questions about the Realtor.com. Next question is a next section here, posting to the tour to the MLS. So remember, we automatically chose that in our default setting, so it's already chosen there for me. So this is automatically going to post this tour link back into MLS for me at a later time. And now here's my other choices. Do I want to post my tour to Yahoo Classifieds Real Estate Search? Why not? It doesn't cost you anything, right? Why not? And it says RealBiz360 will automatically submit your listing data to Yahoo Real Estate as long as your tour is active, and it will do it every, what, 2 weeks, 4 weeks? You get to pick, okay? And you can check your tours within 24 hours. Okay, it takes up to 24 hours for those tours to show. Same thing with Google. Do you want to post it to Google Real Estate? Sure, why not? You need the exposure. Why not? And it's free. Might as well get it up there, right? Post your tour to Trulia. Again, these are the same things. This is just additional syndication options for getting your virtual tours out there. And folks, if you don't know it, virtual tours are going to be, and the visuals and folks viewing these properties through their virtual tours is the way they're doing it these days. They're saving gas, they're saving money, they're going green, they're sitting in front of their computers, and they're looking at properties before they even decide to even work with a realtor sometimes. So get your properties out there. All right, now notice this one on Home Seekers. It says, please make sure your listing is already set up on Home Seekers. So if you're choosing the Home Seekers option, you need to make sure that your listing is already part of the Home Seekers network. Okay? So I'm not, so I'm going to uncheck that. Do I want to create the postcard to send? Sure, why not? Okay? And the postcard is going to go out through email. Okay, so I'm going to say, new listing. Oh, my mother and my husband are going to be happy for me when I send this out, right? And I want to send it to my hot contacts or my favorite agents, or I just want to send it to an individual. And then simply agreeing with the terms of service and submitting to the selected destinations. Now, because this is a fake listing, I'm going to uncheck these other distribution channels because I don't want that out there. But I am going to leave the announce my listing so I can show you that, okay? All right, my tour has been sent to announce my listing. Please check my inbox. I'll go there, that's fine. But let's go into managing the tour first. Okay, we'll wait for that email to come in, and we'll get that in just a second here. So we went through all of those steps under the Create Tour button. Now we're under the Manage Tours button. We're going to go find this. This is the listing. This is the tour I just created. Today is the 11th. I just created this tour. So I'm going to check the box here for this tour. And I can go back in and I can edit it. I can go back in and preview it. I can go back in and republish it if I decided that, yeah, maybe I do want it to go to Google and Oodle and those other options. Or I can delete it, or I can archive it. Okay, that should make pretty good sense to everybody. You know, archiving, it's maybe I've closed the listing, I've appended it, whatever, and I don't want it anymore, but I want to be able to come back and get it at a later time. If you delete, you delete. Okay. Oh, here's my newly listed gem on the beach. Sorry. Okay. So this gives me the ability to go back in and edit it, change those options, change the audio, maybe add the voiceovers, whatever I wanted to do to it to go back through the whole process again without having to go through everything again. Now let's take a look at the next tab here, which is the marketing tools. This is where it gets a little fun, guys. Marketing tools. I'm going to go ahead and find that one I just created, my newly listed gem on the beach. And notice here we have some other tabs. We've got the flyer, postcard, download, reports, video. We've also got the share on Facebook and the Twitter. So if you're using social networking, if I want to share this on Facebook, watch this. I click share on Facebook. And if you're already logged into Facebook, it'll just create a post for you. All right. And I would go ahead and then just share that. Okay. And I'm not going to share this because, again, this is not a real listing. Again, same thing. If you post to Twitter, you click on here, it's going to ask you for your name, and it would go ahead and post it. Okay. Again, I'm not going to post these because these are fake. Now let's look at these other options, though, because those are straight there. They're right in your face, so I wanted to make sure you got those. Let's go to flyer. So if you wanted to create a flyer for this property, very simple, very easy. Let me go and pick one of these that only requires one picture maybe because I only have a couple in there. Let's go to this one here. I clicked on it. I'm going to drop my picture in there. Look at that. Click and drag. That's all it was. Click and drag the photo into where it's supposed to be. That was pretty simple, guys. Okay, I can highlight that text. And maybe I want to make it, I want to use this for sale. You can change your text that's in here, your description. All of your information comes up in here. And I can preview or print or save it. So this is what my flyer is. I'm previewing my flyer. All right, so there's my flyer. Got all my information down in here. And then again, there's the property details on the back. So that was a pretty easy way to create a flyer. I don't know how much simpler it could be. Now notice here it says submit your flyer for online printing. If you want to use expresscopy.com, which they do have a reduced rate with Express Copy to be able to print these flyers for you online, sending to the online printer, and then they'll send them to you. You can submit your flyer for online printing right here. I can also attach this flyer to the virtual tour so that when someone is viewing my virtual tour, if they wanted to view the flyer or print the flyer or download it, it would be available for them to go ahead and choose that option. Otherwise, it's only going to be in my hands, and I'm the only one that's going to have the capability to do that. All right. And I'm going to go back to my templates, save this. Go to the bottom and click Save. When I click Save, of course, it's going to pull it up, and I'm going to have to choose where I want to save it to. So I'm going to click Save the file to my computer, and I'll put it right here. And there we go. All right. We're back to the marketing tools. Now we're going to go to the postcard option. Again, same thing. Let's go here with the just listed. This is going to go out through email. I'll show you how this shows. And you might want to just email it to yourself, and then you can use your own email program to send it out to whoever you wanted to through your address book. You know, that's kind of the way I would like to think about using some of these things is You know, I don't want to load my addresses up into a program. Send it to me, and then I'll use my email program to send it out to whoever's in my email address book. And that way you don't have to worry about who's got your contacts and where are they and is there a limitation and all those other questions that come up about your contacts, and we know how important your contacts are to you, but you've already got them in your email, so why not use your own email to send it? That's my thought anyway on the matter. Let's see if we have any messages coming in here. I should have had a couple come in. Oh, my email inbox is still updating. Okay. All right, let's go through the next one, which is the download to CD. So if you wanted to create this tour that you could download to or copy into a CD-ROM or a CD or a DVD, you could click the download to CD. Here's my MLS. I'm going to click here to show or hide the published tours. It says it wasn't published yet. That was the one I was working on earlier. Here's the one we just did, right? Same address, same ML number. You could create it as either a self-extracting compressed file or a zip file. Again, that's going to be your choice. I can't tell you which one. I think the exe file would probably be the easiest for most people. Okay, and then you simply click Build CD File. Once you click Build CD File, I'll show you what they look like. It creates a hyperlink here, and then you can save that to your hard drive and then insert that into a CD if you wanted to. Copy that over to a CD. All right, back to marketing tools. More marketing tools. Reports. Now, this listing this one is a brand new one, so I don't really have a bunch of listing reports to talk about here on this one. So let me go here to this one over here that was done a while back. Okay, it was first created on March of last year, and it was last viewed in July of this year. So let's go to the reports, and this is where we can look at the hits, so to speak. How many people have viewed it? Well, this one doesn't have a whole lot of history either. And these are all test listings for us, so that's why. You know, we're trainers. We're in here creating these things so we can show you guys how to work with them. So our reports aren't going to be very good, but this is where you could go ahead and get a report, and you could go by the days or the weeks. See the visitors per scene. You can see if the client, if it came from another location, where the hits came from. So some neat little reporting tools. The video. This is a new enhancement. This is something that RealBiz360 released just recently. And this is the video option. So when we go to video, you're going, wait a minute, Jennifer, we just created a video. Yeah, we did. But do we want to put any search tags in here? Do we want to create this video so that we can upload it to YouTube, publish the video to YouTube? You know, that's the latest and greatest craze out there. I mean, you can't turn the news on every week and find on the news channel they're talking about some YouTube video of the kid in the back seat after the dentist appointment, or you know, whatever. So people are out there using YouTube, and they're using it for entertainment purposes in some cases. But you know, get your videos out there. Okay. So I'm going to create the video. As soon as your video is ready, you will be sent a confirmation email with the link. It might take 15 minutes to 24 hours, but this is really, that's that simple. It's absolutely that simple. Let me go back. I'm going to go do another one here. I'm going to show you video. Oh, I can't do it because it's already got one in the queue. That's right. But there were some video options there I should have showed you that will allow you to either upload it to your corporate channel. Some of the large corporations, Remax, Coldwell Banker, I'm trying to think of some of the other ones, Prudential, some of the large corporate franchise companies have their own YouTube channel. You might even have your own YouTube channel that you could upload it to. Otherwise, it will be just uploaded to the RealBiz360 channel on YouTube. So something to keep in mind, it's the way things are happening in the near future, and the way the buyers are going to be really looking for their properties, and a way that you can say to your sellers, I'm using the latest technology to get your listing exposed to as many people as I can. So that's really the whole section on RealBiz360. I'm going to go back to the main menu here because I want to show you that there is a support and training site. So they do have some manuals, some recorded videos, some recorded webinars, and so forth. You want to go ahead here for that. Remember, Help is always available via our help desk from the MFR MLS help desk. Our folks here are trained on the product. They know how to help you, and if they don't have the answer, they will get you over to the RealBiz360 folks so that they can assist you. So anyway, that's really the entire session here, and I'm going to now open it up for questions, and I'm going to take a look here through the questions that were generated throughout the session, making sure that I answered everybody's question. How many contacts can you enter? Elizabeth, I don't know that there is a limitation on the number of contacts that you can enter into your email, but again, you might think about utilizing, again, as I mentioned, your own email and just, having those flyers and postcards and so forth sent through your email and then utilizing your email program to send them out. A great question. Can you send the link of the tour to outside websites? Lisa, you certainly can. When you go in here to manage tours, this is the beauty of this. When you go into your tours, and let me go to my one that I just created so we can use that one. We've been working with that one. And I'm going to go in here to my published tours. So I'm going to go check it, and I'm going to publish it. These links you can post wherever you want. This tour here, this is the IDX tour, and this is the non-IDX tour. Okay? So the IDX one, you don't have to worry about that one. That one's already going to be posted back into ML Exchange. But this tour here, the second one, the one that is created that is your branded tour, you can use wherever you want. You can utilize that on your corporate website. Use it on your personal website. Send out an email to everybody you know, all your friends and family, and say, hey, I've got a new listing. Click here for a link. Send the link to the seller. The branded tour links can be used anywhere you want. That's the beauty of this. The MLX compliant, ML Exchange or MLS compliant tour is the one that's going to be non-branded. But your branded tour you can use wherever you want. I think I answered the question, can you add text to the photos? I believe I answered that question. Yes, you can. Showed you how to do that. You're going to want to take 12 to 16 photos for each area of the property that you want to represent as a panoramic view. That's the idea. Stand in the middle of a room. If you want to do the great room, the kitchen, the dining room, and that whole area in one panoramic, stand in the middle of the room, do your 12 to 16 pictures, click, turn, click, turn, and use those pictures for that panoramic of that particular area. Do you have to create 2 tours to submit it as a relaxed versus a branded? No, you'll notice when you do the publishing, it does that for you automatically. It creates both tours at one time. This is a great option. What if I want to create a FSBO tour for someone I'm working with? Can I uncheck the MLS publish link and submit it to other websites? Here's what you're going to want to do in that scenario. You're going to want to create a tour, and you're right, you could use it as a real estate listing. You're not going to get MLS data though, right, because it would be a real estate listing, and you'll just use your branded tour link to publish to an arrangement with a seller that says, yeah, you bring me the buyer and I'll pay you a commission. Sure, why not? Use this opportunity to create those marketing opportunities for yourself. You have to republish if you edit a price or something else on the tour itself. Yeah, you're going to want to go back in, edit the tour, and edit the price because it will not maintain any price changes that you do at ML Exchange. Are there any plans to link the virtual tours automatically to Craigslist? I can't answer that question for you. I really don't know, as RealBiz360 is another outside company, and I don't know what their business plan and their business model would entail. I can't answer that question for you. You could certainly contact RealBiz360 through their help desk and ask them if they can answer that question for you. Do we have to log in MFR MLS first, or is there an alternate URL? You can log in directly to the RealBiz360 product utilizing the vu.realbiz360.com link. If it were me, what I would probably do is just log in the first time, take that URL up here and make it a favorite for myself so you don't have to keep creating it every single time. That's a good question. A couple of other good questions. Explain the archiving of the tour. Let's say I've got a virtual tour for a piece of property that I created. Let's go back to this one from last year, okay? This sample 1642. The property is no longer on the market. I don't need to access this in my list all the time, so I'm going to archive it. To archive or delete, use the check boxes at the left of the tour, et cetera, and then you can filter by your archived, your published, or your unpublished. So it's not deleting it. So let's say you had it on the market for a year, so you archived it because you no longer have it on the market, but then the seller comes back and says, you know what, I'm going to put this back on the market for you. I'm going to put it back on the market 6 months later. He comes back. You don't want to have to go back and retake all your pictures. Okay, you can go back in here, take that same tour, edit it, make all the changes, edit your price, everything else, and then publish it again. So that's a great thing to do. I would be cautious of the delete. That would be the one that I would be very cautious of, because once you delete it, it's gone. And there is no bringing it back. You delete, it will warn you, but once you get to that point, it's gone. So there's no bringing that back at that point. I had another question. What size should the pictures be? I would recommend using the highest resolution pictures you have that you can use on your camera. So I think even your cell phones these days are running 3 megapixel photos, so you could even go out with your cell phone and take pictures. So use good, high quality, high resolution pictures. You'll be able to zoom in to literally the faucet handle, the handle on the front door, that if you use the higher quality pictures. So the higher quality the pictures, the better the zoom's going to be when you publish those tours. I'm going to go back to one other thing that we didn't talk about, and that was, I kind of alluded to it, is the personal non-real estate listings tours. So let's say I wanted to take a tour, and I want to create a tour of the local parks. Enjoy the splendor, oh boy, here we go, of the quiet beaches and tennis courts, whatever you want to say, and go through and create a virtual tour the same way you would do it for a house. So in my neck of the woods, we have a great little complex. It's a beach complex. It's got tennis courts. It's got a boat launch. It's got a building. It's got a pool. It's got the beach. Go ahead and take some pictures of all of that and create a tour for that. Post it up on your website. How do you remove the tour from all published sites after it sells, for example? And that is a great question. Remember, when we were in, no, it was in the tour. When I'm in the tour itself and I'm publishing, remember the questions happen to be, you could go back in here and just take them off, and that will remove them from those sites. And remember, it's only going to update them every 2 to 4 weeks, 2 or 4 weeks, whichever one you choose. So, if you chose every 2 weeks or every 4 weeks after that, and once the listing is no longer active, you can uncheck these, and it will pull those from there. Maybe you want to pull it from there in the middle of the listing cycle. You could do that as well by going back in and choosing to remove them.
We hope that you enjoyed this presentation of creating virtual tours with RealBiz360 View Vista Suite. If you need further assistance, please feel free to call our help desk at 1-800-686-7451.